So we kind of touched on, you were talking about like just with the gis and things like that. And I think bigger than that is gym culture. You know what I mean? And the feel of training at a gym, the vibe of training at a gym. Because there's some gyms where they could say they have world-class instruction, but you just don't feel comfortable being in that place. Have you ever had an experience where you had to go from gym to gym to gym? Kind of, because Mark, you're from the UK. What's it like? Let's just get into it. What's it like in the UK training as a judoka and your background?
I mean, in many ways, it's the same. It's one of the things that I like about judo is that in some respects, it doesn't matter where you go because we speak a common language in the training, in the dojo, these Japanese. I can go to France and not speak a word of French, and I can go to a club there and I can jump right in because I know what they're going to be doing. Same is true of jiu-jitsu, I suppose. But it's nice to know that in some respects, judo, it's an Olympic sport. It's truly international. There's nowhere in the world. You can show up in Nigeria or someplace where they have nothing. You know, the dojo's outside in the dirt and you can join in. And I think that's one of the nice things about it, really. It's like, I know exactly what's going to take place. I mean, there may be some differences. I mean, like Kay can talk more about this, but yeah, culturally, you know, we know that the Koreans have slightly different style of French. There's some nationalities that specialize in one thing or another, but as far as training goes, I feel like judo training. It's one of the things I like. I think, for me, one of the things that's different, though, is in the US, you have the kind of rise of mega clubs. Like OBJJ, actually, I think of it as a mega club where you can do boxing, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, everything under one roof.
Right?
Wrestling.
Wrestling, I mean, what, five different martial arts, some MMA, I mean, it's all there. And judo typically was never a part of that, at least, and I think it's the same here also, but judo was typically at a judo club. You want to do judo, you went to a judo club, and it wasn't a place where when I was growing up, you would have a membership to that club. You would pay a mat fee.
Right.
And one of the nice things about paying a mat fee is that you can go from club to club to club and train. So where I lived, I had about 5 different judo clubs that were around me. And when I was like 18, 19, I would get on my bike and I would go to a different club every night. And I was welcome at every club because I was known at every club. I could just go in and they'd take my mat fee and I'd be on the mat. So I could train 5 days a week, which you can do here anyway at these mega clubs, but at most clubs you can't. They're open Tuesday and Thursday or Wednesday and Friday.
Right.
So if you want to train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you better find a Tuesday, Thursday club and a Wednesday, Friday club, and Mondays, you know, if you can find one. Nothing at the weekends typically. So it's very different in that respect, although I mean, I've been away from the UK for a while now, so there may be mega clubs there too. But I liked that. I don't like this idea that you pay a subscription and you're kind of married to that club. Because especially as you go up through the ranks, and especially like your brown belt, right? When you're looking to get your black belt, you need as much experience as you can get. And I think the only way to get that is to go from club to club to club and just keep training. Now, and here, that's kind of frowned upon. You know, you're being unfaithful, you know, you're not, people get upset, they get an attitude, they get kind of like possessive about you. And I felt a little bit of that, but for the most part, people accepted that at a certain level, if you didn't do that, you were never going to get any better. Because you can't just train with the same handful of people every week, but you already know their judo and they know yours. You've got to go fight with other people and do randori with other people. So I liked being able to go from club to club to club, and it's not so easy to do that here. So unless you have sister clubs that you can regularly marry up with, and you travel, like other clubs will do that. So okay, we go to Miami this week, we're going to Judo this week, or you know, you're going to go hang out with a different club. But it's not club-based here as it is in the UK. I call it school-based. Now, they have schools here, and you go to classes, and the classes last an hour, and they kick you out. You know, in the UK, it's like, it's a judo night, and it's at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And it's half randori, and half newaza. It's split pretty evenly. But it's they're long sessions, right? They're not just class-based. It's what I call club-based. Mm-hmm. So I like that. But the judo, go back to the judo's the same. I feel like it's the same.
So in the UK, the dojos in there, are they funded by the government or are they self-funded? Because you say club.
Well, that's the other thing about judo, I think, versus BJJ, is that judo has typically been not-for-profit right? If you go back in time, I mean, I think we're learning some lessons from BJJ now, but I think one of the problems that Judo has is it hasn't done a very good job of marketing. Going back to the Gracie thing, right? What the Gracies were really good at, or are still good at, is marketing. Because when you look at Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, they're fundamentally the same in some respects, right? One focuses on the ground, one focuses on standing, but they kind of meet in the middle in some respects. And so, but if you look at the profile that BJJ has, and you compare it with the profile Judo has, which has been around a lot longer, in the Olympics. I mean, BJJ is the Johnny come lately,
right?
But it's got all the publicity. They got the gis, the patches, they got all the fancy stuff, and Judo is just where it's just a little more humble in some respects. But I think it's our own fault. We haven't learned how to market and draw people in. And it's crazy when you think of the two sports giving you pretty much the same thing. But if you ask anybody which one they've heard of and what they want to do, they'll all say BJJ.
In America.
In America.
Yeah.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
And it's not like that anywhere else. Like you go to France, Germany, the UK. I mean, most countries, you can find a judo club within 5 square miles of your house. Good luck finding a BJJ club outside of the US or Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to earn your black belt in judo?
About 8. I want to say about 8 years.
Okay.
I think I started when I was about 14.
Okay.
Which kind of brings me to another difference, actually. I've talked with Kay about this before too, but one of the other differences is the way that we do our promotions, or what we call gradings. And so here, you can get promoted by your instructor, whereas in the UK, you have to go to an independent grading. So let's say we were all wanting to go get our yellow belts in judo. You wouldn't be able to get it from the K. We'd all have to find out where the next grading was going to be. We'd go online and say, it's in Tampa in 2 weeks. That's the next one in Florida. We'd all have to get in the car, drive to Tampa, and meet a bunch of instructors and graders that we don't know. And they would test us and make us fight each other. And then they would give us our belts based on how we did that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that because there's no favoritism that way. And there's none of this, who gave you your belt? What lineage you on? In England, we says got it from the BJA, the British Judo Association. There's only one place you're going to get it, and we don't have multiple. This fractured. We have 3 here, right? USJA. You got like 3 different.
USJA,
like, if you want to join a judo,
USA Judo.
You got to pick one, right? You got to go on and do a couple of weeks research on which one should I join. In most countries, no. It's just you join the British Judo Association. If you're in Germany, you join that. There's just one.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody gets, I brought this along, so get one of these old things. You've seen this, right?
What is that?
This is my little black book. So I don't know if they still do this now because I've been gone for a while. But when you join the BJA, everybody joins. That's the other thing. You don't get to not join. If you don't join, you don't get any gradings, you don't get any promotions. So everybody's a member. We're all on the same page. We're all in the same club. And when you go and you get graded, they put your grade down in here. Everything's like recorded. Your entire judo career is in this little book. So it's kind of cool. Like I can get to go back here. Like so I can see here when I was a junior, I got my first grade in 1978. I got 4th Mon. Right? And the instructor was some guy called G. Groots. And so I can just flip through here and I can see every belt that I got right up until, I guess, when I got my black belt, which was July 1985 from some guy called P. Elliott. That's all in here, right? And it's kind of cool. And then you get, you got your coach card. Looks like I earned 14 points towards my second dan in 1987. But it's all in it. So that's the other thing that's different is like,
I really like that.
Nobody can say, there's no question about where you got it, how did you get it, does it count, does it not count? This whole idea of legitimacy is completely alien to the rest of us. Like, what do you mean when people say, what's your lineage? I'm like, we don't have that.
It's very jiu-jitsu.
It's very jiu-jitsu.
I know in Canada is the same with the little passport thing as well. And testing at an actual site instead of in-house. In America, I've never really heard of on-site testing where you have to go and travel and test.
Yeah.
Most of it is in-house.
Yeah. So I like it because it feels independent. And it calls on you to go and compete a little bit too. So it can't just be theory. So if we all went together, they would kind of pick people that they thought were the same size and they would match them up and make them fight.
That's important.
But you don't have to win to get the belt. It's not like only the winners get the belts. They just want to see that
you're at the
you know
level
what
of
you're doing.
proficiency.
You could lose all 3 of your bouts and still get the belt.
I hear what you're saying.
All right, let's just try. Say 1 time full speed.
I know this is not correct.
Yeah.
If he catches me,
You're in trouble.
I'm just in trouble.
Yeah.